Good evening, Facebook family. Welcome to another edition of Marriage Mondays with Nick and Trina Brinson. And we just love coming to share with you on Monday nights a little bit about relationships to help you, throughout your day and just, throughout your marriage relationship. So, with that said, we would just like to welcome you here tonight as we get started and we get going with this episode. We have a pretty good topic tonight. We haven't really done this topic before, and it's called privacy versus secrecy in your marriage relationship. Those two are very distinctive topics, or two distinctive topics in your relationships or concepts. Yeah. So with that said, normally we welcome in those that are coming in to Facebook to join us tonight. Right now, we don't really see anyone, but
I'll go ahead and share.
okay,
You're doing the same?
yeah.
All right, so we'll give time for folks to come in before we get started. We want to say congratulations to one of our couples that joined in, DeAndre and Tiffany Jones, who welcomed their third child, little baby girl, into the world today. So we just want to say congratulations to them. Um, so they may or may not be tuned in tonight, but I'm sure they'll catch the recording later. So we certainly encourage you all to share so that others can join in and benefit from the conversation. And I really think this topic is one that is not really talked about very often. So I'm hoping it'll get you thinking and get you examining your own thoughts about secrecy and privacy, and really start to kind of think about what the difference is and what that has to do with your relationship, and if there could be some impact in your relationship related to that. Let me get mine shared so we can hopefully get some folks coming in. Put the topic on here. You can go on. I'm just typing.
Yeah. So we are discussing this tonight because, just out of the blue, I was talking to my wife, and I was like, even when we were talking about the topic, it was like I thought privacy and secrecy was kind of the same thing, but it's not. It's two totally different concepts, and the research that we did and our thought process on this, that's basically how we really figured it out. But hopefully we can help you do the same thing. Is understand that secrecy and privacy is not the same thing in your relationship. Okay, I got my phone where I can possibly share now.
And we're hoping from this conversation that we get you thinking about, are they the same thing? Do either belong in marriage? Do married couples have a right to privacy within the marriage, or is everything, an open book, free game for one another? So we hope we're going to have some conversation around that. And of course, as always, feel free to chime in, type in questions, just whatever your thoughts are. We would love to have some engagement back and forth along the topic. All right, I think I got mine shared. Yeah, one share. Yours didn't share?
I hadn't come up yet.
Okay, moving a little slow today. We'll give it a little bit of time. Somebody's joined us. It's happening a little slow tonight, but we know that the recording is always a benefit, so that others can go back and look at it. So we've got a couple folks joining in. So welcome. Can we get the comments? We have to slide it over. Okay. So welcome to those of you who have joined so far. Okay. All right. So we're trying to give a little bit of time for folks to join in. So we hope everybody's had a great weekend. And your week has started out well. We know kids are getting ready to start back to school. And that is of concern to married couples, that change in schedule, all those school issues that come up. back to school issues, and then of course we still got we're still in a pandemic. It's not over yet. So we just encourage everybody to be wise. Be if you're not sure about things related to the pandemic, pray about it. Ask God to show you what's right, what decisions are right for you concerning how you carry yourself and your family, and vaccinations, and how much you go out or stay in, or if you work, how your kids go to school. Those types of decisions, we just encourage you not to kind of wing it, to go ahead and be prayerful about those things, and expect a response from God so you can have some guidance, and so you can move through this pandemic in peace and in faith, and not so much in fear, which is a reality for a lot of people. So I would hope that you would choose something different and take it as an opportunity to grow your faith in the midst of it. So we just encourage that, so that you're living in peace and not in fear, so that you can live in faith. You ready?
Yeah, we need to go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go ahead and start talking about privacy, what that is, and secrecy, and what that is as well. Oh, good evening. There's the comments are coming up. There's Mama. Thank you for joining us. We had a wonderful weekend with you this past weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Visiting with family. So, you ready?
Just a second. Just trying to do what I need to do.
Yeah. Just.
All right. Okay. Let's get on with the topic tonight. All right. Privacy and secrecy in a marriage. What is privacy? By definition, privacy is the state of being apart from company or observation. Being apart from company or observation. And how does that work in a marriage, you might say? When you give your spouse privacy, you give them respect to do what they need to do without you looking at them or having eyes on them while they're doing it. It's one of those things where sometimes you just need a moment to yourself, and you just need that private moment. It ain't something that I'm trying to do to keep you away from me. It's something that I just need at the moment or for an extended period of time as a preference. And it's nothing that's going to cause damage to the marriage or anything like that. But sometimes you just need a moment to yourself, and you do this out of respect for your spouse. Mm-hmm. Also, you do it out of trust. If you trust and love your spouse, you let them have that time without the questioning. Well, why you need to be in the bathroom by yourself? We got 2 children. I done saw you undressed. That's no way to treat that. Sometimes people just need to be with themselves, have some quiet time, and it might be their time to pray. And they don't need you in their face while they're trying to pray. Mm-hmm. Because they're trying to take care of their spiritual development.
Yeah, so people are entitled to privacy. That's not too much to ask. And I think it's important within a marriage that we remember that our spouse is an individual person, as they are also connected to us. We're one together, but we are individuals that are one together. And right. So it's important to allow your spouse to have that space for growth and for to have some time by themselves if they need it. And that's not a bad thing. It's not a violation, or it shouldn't mean anything negative towards you as their spouse, because he wants to have a few minutes to be by himself. That's okay. That's okay. And just basic privacy. Some people like to change in private. Not really that big of a deal. A lot of couples change in front of each other. That's not a big deal either. But if a person wants some privacy, it's okay to lend them that privacy in that moment. Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily saying there's something bad going on. And so we just want to bring out the difference between privacy and secrecy. And the main thing we want to say about privacy is that it's just a basic right. It's a courtesy that you allow people to have out of respect. If your spouse is on their cell phone, you don't automatically have the right to be over their shoulder reading their text messages or seeing what they're doing on their phone. That's basic privacy. You wouldn't do that to any other adult.
Right.
So, just give your spouse that courtesy, that respect. It helps to build trust. And it's careful. You got to be careful not to violate that trust. As in giving your spouse a reason to be suspicious, because that's when the privacy becomes a little difficult for couples to tell the difference between privacy and secrecy when that trust has been violated.
Right.
And so, and that's also part of the steps to rebuild trust, is to understand, when privacy is in order and when the right to privacy, has to be earned back, if there's been a violation of that trust due to secrecy. So.
All right. And what is secrecy? Secrecy is the act of keeping information hidden. And there's a negative connotation to hidden. If you just want to keep some information private to you and yourself, that's different than you keeping information hidden. For instance, we were talking right before the broadcast. If I'm planning to lose 20 pounds, and I start to change my eating habits, she might be like, well, why are you changing your eating habits? I just want to get healthier. I don't have to sit here and explain, well, my goal is to lose 20 pounds. I want that to be my motivation for me to do something for myself. That information does not hurt her. That information is not being hidden from her, even though I can share it if I want to, okay? And so there's a difference between privacy and secrecy, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. And when you're being secret, some of the information that we came across is as dangerous as lies. If you're being secret with information that's beneficial to your spouse or can hurt your spouse, or you're just hiding information from them, it's as dangerous as lies. You're not telling a lie, but you're living a lie. And that's a lot worse than actually telling a lie, because the other person is under the impression that we're on the same page. Right. We're doing things the same way. We're thinking the same way. But in the background, if you living with a secrecy and you're not talking to your spouse about stuff, that could be living a lie.
Yeah, it has a lot to do with your intentions, the reason why you're not sharing something. That's really what goes to the heart of whether something is being secretive or if it is private. So if you're choosing to keep something from your spouse because there is shame or because there is fear attached to it, those are reasons that can potentially be damaging to your relationship.
Right.
Your relationship should be built on trust and built on love. And when your motivation for keeping something from your spouse has to do with, well, I don't know how they're going to react to it. That's fear.
Right.
Or I don't know if they would approve of the choice that I'm making, so I'm going to keep that from them, even though it's something that could affect our relationship or could affect our family. And when you choose to hold that back from your spouse out of shame, that's an indicator that it really is something that needs to be addressed in the relationship. So you have to check your motive for keeping something secret. It's not the same as if you're trying to plan a surprise party or a surprise visit, in order to do something nice for your spouse. You got family members or friends coming in, or you planned a big party or something like that. That is fine to keep that a secret, number one, because it will be revealed.
Right.
You've got it planned that it will be revealed. It's not a long-held secret that's something you don't ever want your spouse to know. And also the intent behind it. Your intent behind keeping that secret is coming from a place of love.
Right. Christmas gifts, all those little things like that. It's hidden, but the intent behind it is love.
Right.
And it's going, like she said, the motivating factor of that is that it will be revealed one day. It's not something that you're trying to hide. For instance, when you're dealing with secrecy, a lot of people, have a couple phones around the house, because they've, what is it called when you get a new phone? Upgrade a phone, and you might have the old one at the house. But if that old one is still active and it's only in the house certain times, why you got another phone that you're operating out of?
Or if only certain people contact you on that phone and your spouse is not aware of that. If it's something that's hidden because you don't want your spouse to know you're communicating with someone, that's the problem.
That is a problem.
Yeah, that secrecy is not coming from a place of love. It's coming from a place of deceit,
Right.
maybe a place of shame, maybe a place of even insecurity.
Right.
But the bottom line is, it's coming from fear. It's not coming from faith, and it's certainly not coming from love. And so you have to check yourself and really see, because some people, um, that's we've talked before about, our perspective on having friends of the opposite gender that are not a part of your spouse's friendship group as well, and the danger that can be. And that when you have a friendship that you feel you have to hide from your spouse, or if you're when you are, oh, it says the live broadcast has been paused. I'm not sure. Hopefully it'll come back on.
Well, we still
Should we
live,
keep going?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Hopefully it won't be cut out. All right, we had a little bit of a pause. I didn't want to leave out any information. But what I was saying is that if you have a friend that you can't share with your spouse, that friendship, you really have to check your motivation. You have to find out, why is it that there is that hesitation or that level of secrecy. If you can't tell, if you're telling your spouse you're going one place and you're going somewhere else to spend time with another person, abstain from all appearances of evil, first
Right.
of all. And also, you need to be transparent with your spouse. And if that's a relationship that you can't be open and transparent with your spouse about, then that's a relationship that's damaging to your marriage.
Yep.
And so you have to decide, you didn't marry that person that you're trying to be in friendship with. You chose to put your spouse first because that's who you chose to marry. And so that relationship becomes primary in your life. These other relationships are secondary or tertiary or even further back than that. So you have to check your motivation and not sacrifice your marriage relationship for these other relationships that are less important than your marriage. You have to put your marriage first.
And you just the honesty piece of that is very necessary. I remember back when I was a kid and I wanted to go somewhere else other than where I was telling my mother I was going. I would always tell her I'm going to a certain place, and I did go. But then there was that. Well, I did go to that place, but I also went to other place too.
That you didn't want
that
to
I
know
didn't
about.
want to be revealed.
Secretive.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I knew she wouldn't approve of going to that spot. And then I got caught up into some situation, and I shouldn't have been there. And see, that's the thing where this can hit home for some folk. Be open and honest where you're going. Your wife or your husband may not approve of you going to a certain place, and you just need to tell them, okay, this is where I'm going. I know you don't like me to go over there, but I need to go over there for this situation, and I'm only going to be there a certain amount of time. That's how you build that trust. It ain't the fact that you're reporting to her like they're your parents, but you're reporting to them out of respect so they'll know exactly what your motivation is. But if you go somewhere else and then you end up over there and they find out, that's a problem. That's a real problem. Or you're doing something like financials, your financial situation. If you're hiding money that your spouse don't know about because you know they don't know about it and you don't want them to know about it, that's not privacy, that's secrecy.
Right.
You have to learn how to be honest and open with the person that you're with and trust that they have your best interest in mind, even when you share something with them. As in, I have $1,000 over here. I'm saving it for, whatever I need to save it for. And you have to be honest with them about that. But if you're hiding money that the family can use, you're not being honest with your family. Because now that goes into selfishness, I think. When you're hiding money that the family need or can use. Remember, your first priority is your family, not you. Everything.
Well, and having an open conversation is really what it boils down to, because it may be even insignificant as to how much money may be in a given account, but just the fact that you can openly agree, this is my responsibility financially, this is your responsibility financially, this is what we've agreed upon. And if you all have agreed that each person or whatever might have money that's not delegated to the family. And if this person chose to spend all their money, the other person chose to save, that's your business. I mean, because that's what you've already agreed upon. The bottom line is coming to a place of agreement. Your marriage shouldn't be motivated by trying to own each other or trying to, and what I mean by that is trying to micromanage every part of each other's lives. That gets into a place where someone might feel the need to be secretive if they're dissatisfied with the way the communication is going. And so you have to find a balance of how you can be open and honest with each other, and each person can get their needs met at the same time. That's really what it boils down to. The details of it can be different from couple to couple and will be different from couple to couple. The bottom line is your household has to have some unified beliefs and some agreed upon plans and agreed upon steps to accomplish the goals that you all have set as a family. That's the bottom line, is getting to a place of agreement, knowing how to communicate to make that happen. So that nobody has a need to be secretive, knowing that you can trust your spouse with whatever it is that you need to come to them with. Something that might be a little uncomfortable for you, your spouse is the perfect person for you to build a relationship strong enough for you to share those things that may be a little uncomfortable for you to share.
Yep. And that's a good point. Don't push your spouse into secrecy based on how you're interacting with them. You want to keep communication open and honest. That's how to keep everything, as we say, on the table, so everybody can see what's going on.
Yeah, honesty and transparency are a crucial part of a happy and healthy marriage. So don't shy away from those hard conversations, and because I think that's kind of where some of it happens. Is people are afraid. You're afraid to say, like, how are you going to react?
Right.
Are you going to explode if I tell you what I'm thinking? Or are you going to withdraw if I tell you what I'm really thinking? And so a key component is to build your relationship up so that you can be vulnerable with one another. Hi, LaTanja and Savannah Walton. I'm just noticing names popping up, y'all. Ms. Rhonda, Dolores, Nikisha Jenkins. We have some folks that have come on into the room today.
Yep.
So we appreciate y'all.
So, it's these, we were talking about some heavy topics, but, let's bring it back to the bedroom a little bit. Even when we're, I have, our lifestyles, the way we grew up. I was the only child. So everything in the house was at my exposure. I could go and do whatever I wanted to do. My mom really didn't care if I looked in her drawers or in the cabinets or the kitchen and all that kind of stuff. It was just me at the time. But when I got married and brought another person into my life, that changed a little bit. When you say something?
Oh, absolutely.
So,
see, I grew up in a household with siblings, and what's mine is mine. and what's mine, I'm willing to share with others. That's how we grew up in our household, but it's still mine. And so I get to have a say-so over my property, how it's managed, but we were willing to share. But it's not just a given that you could just go get somebody's belongings, at will. That was disrespectful. And that was something that we were taught not to do. And that's just when you have other people around and everybody's equal, you have to respect that other people have rights
and their boundaries.
Other people have privacy. You don't just, barge into a room. You knock first. You owe people that common courtesy, if a door is closed, that is. You owe people that common courtesy of privacy. Or if a person is doing whatever they're doing in the room, maybe studying, or I don't know, whatever person might be doing, and they might need some quiet or some privacy, you give that person that out of courtesy, out of just general respect.
Right.
And that's something that carries over into marriage. When you have to share space with another person, then you have to be considerate of
that person.
Of their need for some privacy and some downtime, and you don't have to be in their face 24/7. Now, a lot of couples are enjoy being in each other's space very closely, And once again, whatever is agreed upon for your relationship is the right thing.
Right.
But you've got to be open and willing to understand that your spouse might have a different level of tolerance for that than you might have, and so you have to work out a balance on that. And I just want to say hello to the newest mommy that I know, Miss Tiffany Jones, who has joined us. So congratulations on your little one. I can't wait to see her picture of her face outside. She sent me a picture in utero. I appreciated that sonogram picture. I'm sure she's beautiful, and congratulations to you. You are a champ.
And to you too, Dre.
And to Trey.
You had a little something to do with that, sir.
Yeah, but
and
she did all the work
you,
today. I'm sorry.
I'm with you, brother.
Tiffany did all the work today. I
Dre,
gotta give her props.
Man, you've had some private conversations. Keep on pushing on, brother. You and Tiffany, keep on doing what y'all doing.
Yeah,
love y'all.
Couple. All right, so that's pretty much. I mean, do you have more to add? You want to emphasize anything else? We've been talking about privacy versus secrecy, and the importance of yielding privacy to your spouse when they need it, just out of self-respect and honor, and the importance of not allowing secrecy to be a part of your relationship. You want to avoid secrecy, but offer privacy. Right.
Avoid secrecy, offer privacy to each other.
Yeah.
And that's a show of love. And we're still recording live here. You know, we're not sure about what's going on y'all end, but we're still recording live. So, with that said, you got anything else? She didn't want me to do that, y'all.
You got to tell everything, don't you?
I love it. So, with that said, we just want to say thank you to our bishop and our first lady, Finest Bush Jr. and Lady Denise Bush. We just want to say hello and just continue to stay prayed up, and we're praying for you as we walk with you. Just continue to be our spiritual leaders and keep on guiding us the way that we need to be led. With that said, for the lady and the coach, we love y'all. Good night.